All right, we are recording. Fantastic, friends. All right, welcome to Clear Start Mondays. I'm John Hehman, a mental fitness coach, and tonight, your host. Each Monday, we do three things: we ground your nervous system, we write through a few honest questions, and you leave with one clear move for the week. You will not be put on the spot. This is not group therapy, it's not a hustle session. It's not a motivational speech, it is a reset. You're here to be human and curious. Have a pen and paper with you and just write down whatever comes up. This is the second week of our mental health month arc. Last week we talked about catching yourself mid pattern. Tonight we're going somewhere different. We're not talking about what's wrong or what needs to change or what you need to keep doing that you don't want to do. Tonight we're asking a question most high functioning people have never actually stopped to answer. What does a good day look like for you? Not a perfect day, not a productive day, not a day where everything went right, a day that felt genuinely good at the end of it. Most people would have to think for a long time to answer that. And here's why that matters. When you don't have a definition of a good day, you can't build towards one. You just react to whatever the day brings. You measure yourself against whatever the loudest voice is demanding. You go to bed either having won by someone else's standards or having lost. Neither of those is yours. Tonight we change that. We're not asking for breakthroughs, we're teaching a skill this evening. I know it's a little different, but what we're going to do is we're going to decide how and what a good day looks like for you starting tomorrow morning. But before the questions, before we get started though, let's talk about it. Let's talk about arriving. Just breathe. Let the air go into your lungs and fill you up. Just breathe. I want to invite you to close your eyes. Go ahead and feel your feet on the ground. Locate your big toe on one foot. Notice your big toe on your other foot. See if you can find your pinky toes. Go ahead and wiggle them all for me. Notice where your body is touching whatever you're sitting on. Unclench your jaw. Relax your face and your skull. Go ahead and roll your shoulders and drop them. Take one long, slow breath in through your nose. And notice the sensation of air as it hits your nostrils. Pause briefly at the top. Now go ahead and exhale gently through your mouth, noticing the sensation of air as it leaves your lips. Very good. Most people start their week already reacting, already solving, already bracing. If you notice that in yourself, nothing is going wrong. But in this grounding practice, we're going to set the pace for clarity. So I want to talk to one thing real quick here. This tool that I was referring to a moment ago. What we're going to do is I want you to think about this. A good place before we get into these questions, we're gonna talk about this tool because the place where a good day starts or gets lost before it begins is in the first 60 seconds after your alarm goes off. So here's the tool. When your alarm goes off tomorrow morning, before you pick up your phone, before you think about anything you have to do, take a breath. And just like we just did, Notice whatever your body is touching. As soon as your brain comes on, notice where you're touching the mattress, the pillow, where the temperature of the air is. Feel the texture of your sheets, your blankets, whatever's around you. Just for 10 seconds, as soon as your alarm goes off, before you do anything else. That's it. That's all I want you to do. And what that does is interrupt the autopilot before it has a chance to start in you. The pattern can't run if you don't hand it the wheel, right? And 10 seconds of presence is going to help you keep that wheel. It's going to help you start a good day. We're going to build the questions around that moment tonight. So I want to invite you to a visualization. Go ahead and close your eyes again for me. Imagine your mind is a snow globe. And inside that glass, thoughts, worries, stress, things outside of your control, other people's moods, the what ifs in your life, they're the snowflakes inside. All week long, that snow globe has been getting stirred up without us realizing it. Every notification, every responsibility, every shift of attention, every demand, every moment that you felt rushed or behind, every interaction that you've taken on emotionally from someone else is a flake falling. I want to invite you to picture setting that snow globe down. Gently, easily, hands off. No effort, just stillness. Watch the pieces float and fall one by one. Let them settle. Each piece drifting down, resting. Notice the moment the last flake falls. The waters become clearer, and it's not because you forced anything, it's because we've stopped stirring it. If your globe hasn't settled yet, that's okay. You didn't do anything wrong. We're just noticing. So now ask yourself quietly, what am I carrying into this session right now that I do not need? Whatever comes up, name it. You don't need to fix it. You don't need to understand it. Just admit that you're carrying it. And for this session, gently set it down beside you. So here's what we're doing tonight. We're going to decide what a good day looks like. And this is something that never gets asked in a full room of capable functioning adults. Not, what do you need to get done this week? What are your goals for the quarter? The question is what does a good day actually look like for you? Most high-functioning people have never answered that question honestly. They know what a productive day looks like. They know what a stressful day looks like. They know what a disappointing day feels like. But a genuinely good day, the kind that leaves you feeling like yourself at the end of it, most people would have to think for a little bit to come up with one, right? And here's why that matters for our mental health specifically. You can't build towards something you haven't defined. When you don't know what a good day looks like for you, you spend every day reacting. You measure yourself against whatever the loudest demand is. You go to bed having won or lost by someone else's standards. And over time, that becomes the only way that you know how to measure a day. And tonight, we're going to interrupt that. We're going to ask you to describe a good day in your own words, and then we're going to connect it to something simple and physical, that morning tool that I just talked to you about. Imagine when your alarm goes off tomorrow morning, before anything else. You're just going to take that one breath for the first 10 seconds of your brain coming online, before the phone, before the email list, before the first thought about what you have to do. This 10-second practice can become a morning routine. It's initiating self-command. Force yourself to take one breath and feel the textures around you before autopilot gets the wheel. We're going to figure out how to make a good day yours, starting right there in the morning. So go ahead and grab something to write with. The same rules as always. Do not write the right answer, write the honest answer. So question 1. Think about the last day that it felt genuinely good to be a part of. Not perfect, not wildly successful, not a vacation or a special occasion, just a regular day that ended with you feeling like something had worked for you. It felt good. Maybe it was recent. Maybe you'd have to go back further in your mind than you like. That's okay. Find it. Look. Let yourself feel it. Describe it specifically. What actually happened that day? Not the big things necessarily. Sometimes it's the small things. The right conversation, the right amount of quiet, getting something finished that had been sitting there, moving your body, feeling present with someone you love. Any of those things. What did they feel like? Not just what you did. What did it feel like to be you at the end of that day? What made it feel different from most days? What happened that made it a good day? Be as specific as you can. The more specific you are right now, the more useful this becomes, because we're going to ask you to build toward what your ideal day looks like. And you can't build towards something vague. So let me kick this timer on here. And we're going to... Oh, let's see. Is it going to work this time? Oh, 5 minutes. Oh, hold on 1 second. Let's refresh this. Let's try again. 5 minutes. There we go. We've even got music for you. All right. We're doing 5 minutes on this guy because it's a big question, right? Think about the last day that felt genuinely good at the end of it. Maybe it was recent. Maybe you'd have to go back further than you'd like. That's okay. Just look for it. What actually happened that day? What did it feel like? What did it feel like to be at the end of that day looking back and feeling content? Not accomplished, not productive, maybe not even content, but it felt good, it felt right. What made that different from most days? Be as specific as you can. We got about 4 minutes to go here, everybody, so I'm going to write down myself. We've got about just 2 minutes to go here. Think about the last day that genuinely felt good at the end of it. Just a regular day that ended with you feeling positive, charged up, loved, cared for. Maybe it was recent. Maybe you'd have to go back further. That's okay. Just describe it. What actually happened that day? All right, we got through the first question. How about that? Question two. Look at what you just wrote. You described a good day. You were specific. It was something real. Now I want you to look at this from a slightly different angle. What would have to be true about you for this kind of day to happen more often? I'm not asking about circumstances. I'm not asking about other people changing. I'm not asking about you wishing for a different job or schedule, just you. What would have to be different about how you show up? Maybe it's the energy you protect in the morning before you give it away to anything else. Maybe it's the pace you choose or the pace you keep choosing that works against you. Maybe it's a version of yourself that doesn't start the day already behind. Maybe it's as simple as I need 10 seconds before the noise starts. But here's the question underneath the question. If you knew what a good day felt like, and you knew what it needed from you specifically, what would you have to decide to do differently from the moment you wake up? Not forever, not as a promise that you'll break by Thursday. Just what would you have to choose tomorrow morning for tomorrow to have a shot at feeling like the day you just described? Let's go ahead and write that down. I think we're going to do 5 minutes again, friends. Look at what you wrote from a slightly different angle. What would have to be true about you for this kind of day to happen more often? We're not talking about your circumstances. We're not talking about having other people change. I'm not asking for you to wish for a different job or a different schedule, just you. What would have to be different about how you show up? What would have to be true about you for this kind of day to happen more often? Go ahead and look at what you're writing and just think about what would have to be true about you for this kind of day to happen more often. Whatever comes up for you is correct. It's okay, without judgment, because we're not talking about circumstances or changing other people or getting a different job or a different schedule, just what you can control. What would have to be different about how you show up to have that day more often? Looks like we got just under a minute 40 here. All right, we got through question 2. On to question 3. So let's talk about tomorrow morning because you just described a good day in detail. You just named what it would look like and what it would take for you to have more days like that. So now we're going to get specific. Based on everything that you just wrote, what is one specific thing that you will do tomorrow morning? It could be sorry, there's a moth over here, so it got my distraction. So there you go. But yeah, based on everything you just wrote, what is one specific thing you will do tomorrow morning? It could be the 10 seconds of practice from the opening. The alarm goes off, you take a breath, notice what you're touching, feel the temperature before anything else. It could be something you named in question 2. Something about how you want to show up. Something about the pace you want to set before the day sets it for you. But it has to be specific. Because let's face it. Not I'll try to do better tomorrow. What exactly will you do? When? How long will it take? Because here's what we know about the person that's hearing me in this room. They are capable. They are self-aware to a degree. They have probably set intentions before and watched them dissolve before their very first cup of coffee. The reason that happens isn't a lack of willpower. It's a lack of specificity. A vague intention meets autopilot, and autopilot wins every time. A specific plan, named out loud, written down, given a time and a duration, that has a fighting chance. So let's name it. What are you going to do tomorrow morning? When? For how long? Write this down like it's already decided, because it is. 3 minutes. Oh, goodness, we got to do this again. There we go. 3 minutes. A specific plan named out loud, written down, given a time and a duration, has a fighting chance. So let's name it. What are you going to do tomorrow morning? When? How long? Write it down like it's already decided, because you're deciding right now to take action. Let's do it. Just about a minute to go. So let's hear about this specific plan. Name it. What are you going to do tomorrow morning? When are you going to do it? How long? Write it down like it's already write it down like it's already decided. It's about 25 seconds to go here. All right, we got there. Turn that guy off. All right, so here's what I want to name before we close this evening. You just did something that most people who call themselves high functioning adults or just functioning adults have ever done. You defined a good day in your own words, not by someone else's standards, not by what you produced, not by how many things you crossed off of a list, but by what it actually felt like to be you. And then you named what it would take from you to have more days like that. That is mental fitness work. Not in the clinical sense, but in the most practical one. You cannot build towards something you haven't defined, and now you have a definition. So here's how that 10 seconds practice connects to everything that you just wrote. Tomorrow morning, when that alarm goes off, the autopilot's going to make its first move. The phone, the scroll, the mental list, the first way to the day landing before you've even stood up. That 10-second practice tomorrow morning is not a meditation. It's not a ritual. It is an interruption. One breath. Notice what you're touching. Feel the temperature, feel the texture for 10 seconds. That's it. And in that 10 seconds, you can remember what you wrote tonight. You know what a good day feels like. You felt it. You just went through it. You know what it needs from you. You have one specific thing you're going to do tomorrow morning. And that is a clear start. Not perfect, not heroic, not a transformation, just your best attempt. So our anchor phrase this week is today is a good day for a good day. I saw that years ago, and we actually have it on a plaque in our house. Today is a good day for a good day. That's our anchor phrase. Not I hope today is good. Not I'm going to try to have a good day. Not please let this day be different. Just today is a good day for a good day. It is a declaration. It is not a wish. It's a choice you make before the day has a chance to make it for you. Here's how to use it. Tomorrow morning, that alarm is going to go off. Before you let that autopilot in, just take a breath and say, today's a good day for a good day, and notice what you're touching. Say it quietly to yourself. Today is a good day for a good day. And then do one of the things that you wrote down in question 3. Pick one and move forward. Have a great day. One breath, one phrase, one action, 10 seconds of presence, followed by one intentional move. That is the difference between a day that happens to you and a day that actually started in your hands. Use it once tomorrow morning when that alarm goes off and see what happens. I bet you could do it the next day too. So tonight you did something worth acknowledging. You paused. You named what a good day in your own words looked like. And you looked honestly at what it would take from you to have more of those good days. And you made a specific plan for tomorrow morning. This isn't journaling. This is a decision. This is mental health month. And the most honest thing I can say about mental health for this kind of person in this room listening to me is, if you're in crisis, seek help. But you are functional. You are capable. You are getting things done. You may be living at a pace that doesn't leave room for a single genuinely good day. And if that's your normal, the absence of good days stops feeling like a problem and starts feeling just like how life is. And I promise you it's not. I promise you it's not. You just proved that it's not by describing a good day in detail. You know what one feels like. You have a starting point. You have a practice for tomorrow morning. And next week we're going to talk about what happens when you miss a morning. Because you probably will, and that's okay. But that's what next week's for. If you want to go deeper into this work between now and then, the Saboteur Assessment is available at rvscoaching.com/saboteur. It will show you exactly which patterns have been making good days harder than they need to be. Feel free to reach out to me directly at john@rvscoaching.com. I believe in you, and I'll see you next Monday. Have a great week, everyone.